God love you, Dan Slott, for great timing. Dan Slott, of course, the writer of Spiderman, addresses fan frustration with long-running character. Now, full disclosure, I saw one of Dan's tweets the other day. I went ahead and made a comment on that. I went ahead and, hell, I even made a video on that. You should see that little card link up on the top right-hand corner to go check that out. But basically, comicbook.com, our good friends over there, have picked up on this story of Dan Slott addressing fan frustration, and it goes by the usual quote of "Don't like it, don't buy it," which I, of course, promptly responded to. Okay, we won't, but don't cry about it when we don't buy it, because these are your own words. But let's go ahead and see. Let's go ahead and see what the frustration is all about. Superior Spider-Man writer Dan Slott chimed in on some of the fan frustrations with changes to major characters. Fans have been up in arms about some of the choices on Amazing Spider-Man for a long time now. While those changes continue full steam ahead, Slott offered his perspectives of why long-running characters have to change over time. So let's stop right there. He's not wrong in that basic sense, but how you change them and why you change them could lead to some disgruntled fans. Look, in wrestling, right? If you want to stay relevant in wrestling, you have to change up your character. You have to stay fresh. You have to stay unique. You have to stay exciting. If it is the same boring thing over and over again, yeah, you'll get away with that for a little while. But after a few years, people yawn, people get tired of it. It's no different in comic books, right? But again, it depends on the change. We like to see growth of our characters. We like to see our characters have characters. Like children become new characters. We like to see them get married, have families, or maybe even take a darker road. But let's see what they say. While it's not a plea to do whatever you want with someone like Spider-Man, it is an examination of why certain choices might end up being necessary for a creative team. Some may not agree. Well, it looks like many do not agree. But it is one perspective on situations like the ones that are got going on currently. Let's see here. They go on to say, Dan Slott goes on to say, it's impossible to ruin, destroy a long-standing legacy character. No, it's not. Look what happened to Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. You guys straight up fucking butchered him. Period. End of story. If an iconic character has been around for 50 plus years, they're indestructible. No, you can tarnish a character pretty easily these days. Whatever current aspect storyline displeases you as a fan can be hand-waved away down the road. The character you love will be fine, Slott wrote, but what if I don't want to wait that long? What if a legacy character has been around for 50 plus years? Chances are that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of stories about them in various medias you haven't read, seen, or experienced yet. More than enough to tide you over, right? So I've heard this argument. I've made this argument, that, hey, I can stop watching or buying anything new, video game-wise, movie-wise, television-wise, because there is so much material out there that I haven't yet consumed that it would take longer than I have in my lifetime to go ahead and do so. But that's not a great argument to support why your new shit sucks. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, yeah, we know our movies suck, but go back and watch the original Star Wars trilogy. You'll be fine. Pat on the head and move along. These aren't the droids you're looking for. No, man, we want to see continuation of the stuff that we love and remember, and that we can share with our kids and not be embarrassed by it, We know what's cooler than Dan Slott knows what's cooler, just to be honest with you, right? Keeping a character that's been around for as long as Spider-Man can be really difficult. No, it's not. You just fucking butchered it, because he was on the right path. He got married with. If you ever look at Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, that is the direction that Spider-Man should have went in. Spider-Man's have Mary Jane. They have a kid. She's getting spider powers. Peter's getting a little older. He's got to guide his kid in how to use these powers. That's what it should have been. Writers, editors, and artists are trying to find angles that will intrigue readers. There's always concern about pushing a character beyond what is recognizable. Well, if you do that too much, right? If you push a character beyond to the point of like no one really knows what he's about anymore or who the fuck he is, yeah, that's going to hurt you. It's a delicate balance between exploring some part of the hero or villain that no one's considered before and doing what's right behind a character that fans have literally enjoyed for decades. Yeah, it's a balance act, and you can't destroy it. You can't wreck it. If you want those fans, guys like me, to come back and read Amazing Spider-Man, you better give us something that we're familiar with. It can be different, but at the same time, we need to know that we're reading Amazing Spider-Man and not some fan fiction of Amazing Spider-Man. And there is a difference. But the current storyline hurts and disrespects the character. I'm defending them. For a character to stay vital and fresh, especially when it's been around for 50 plus years, storytellers have to take risks and try things that they would have done with the character before. Slott continued. No, that just means you're running out of good ideas, so now you're throwing whatever sticks to the wall. See if that spaghetti will stick. And whenever that happens, whatever ways those stories deviate from the norm will inevitably upset a number of hardcore fans. So yeah, and even the non-hardcore fans might just look at this, read this, and go, "This is dumb." Rip up the book. Conversely, they could also excite other parts of the base and catch attention of new fans. Yeah, that's your hope, which isn't happening. These deviations are necessary from time to time. Then Slott got to the heart of the matter with all these random changes that happen with long-running characters. With these wild swings and stories that take big risks, there'd be a danger of the property growing stale and predictable. Well, I think we've already hit that. Man, I think we hit that back in the 90s, to be honest with you. And again, for a character that survives so long, there is the knowledge a reboot, reinvention, or handwave could put all those toys back in the box. In other words, what they're trying to say is, maybe we forgo canon. Huh? 50 years of canon, maybe fuck it. I think that's what they're saying here. Despite any historics, I don't mean despite the history, I'm going to say it that way because that word makes no fucking sense to me. There is always the knowledge that the fan base that existed before you felt the same way over a previous story or status quo. And yes, guess what? A character we all know and love is still here and still thriving. Still here technically. Thriving, I doubt it. They're going to be okay. And he would add, also, if you think a storyline has broken your favorite character for all time, and you can't come up with an idea or story to fix that, then your fan powers are lacking. Oh, so if you don't like a storyline and you can't come up with something better in your own personal fan fiction or your imagination, then your fan powers are lacking. My fan powers, sir, are not lacking. I'll tell you that. My fan powers are at an all-time high. And if Marvel ever said, hey, come write Amazing Spider-Man, and we will let you do what you want with no editorial interference whatsoever, I would be all over that like a wet blanket. The fact of the matter is that they won't give me the keys to the car, and they certainly won't give me any green lights. So it's not something I fixate on. But if I do read Spider-Man, I want it to be quality Spider-Man. Peter Parker quality Spider-Man. Not you fucking him around because it's politically advantageous on your agenda to do so. But I guarantee you, there are hundreds if not thousands of fans who can come up with a fix. Sure, why aren't you implementing these fixes? Why are you just giving us your drivel? Do you agree with Dan Slott's read on characters like Spider-Man and Batman? Let me know down in the comments section below. I'll tell you this, I don't agree with it at all. I mean, I agree to a certain point that, yes, we have to keep the wheel turning, and we have to evolve these characters, but they are just doing some weird fucking shit, man. I mean, that's just the only way to say it. There is a reason why he's got to come out and make these statements, because if everything was fine, right? If everything was honky dory, if everything was all coming up Millhouse, then these discussions wouldn't even be had because we'd all be satisfied. The fact of the matter is that we're not satisfied as comic book fans, and you can see it all through YouTube and all through Twitter. You can see it in the sales. You can see it when you talk to comic book retailers about what is selling, what isn't, and why it's selling and what isn't. You can see why manga, quite simply, is kicking our ass, right? We need to find a way to turn this around. The future is not Marvel and DC. The future is with the new up-and-coming crop of creators such as myself, Max DeVille, Sam Quinton, Warren Brown, and others who have now come to Antarctic Press with our properties to get them on the shelf, to give you something better to read. With that being said, I will see you later. Don't forget to smash that sub, like the video, share it out, and stay tuned for more news coming soon.